Hi there to all of you viewers of Equinoxe Television, 6 p.m. by 6 o'clock. It's time for the news. We thank you so much for joining us. Our major stories right away as usual have the victims of the Mobile Guinness landslide been abandoned to themselves. That mudslides caused the lives of at least 40 persons some days back, contrary to announcements made by local authorities that the corpse removal will be done collectively in an official ceremony. The families individually removed their corpses from the Laken's Hospital mortuary today. We spoke with some family members and we will be telling you more in this edition of the news. And what are the resolutions taken by presidents of Professional Football League after the failed press conference that was yesterday? We will be coming back to that also in this news edition. Viewers, those are our major stories. Stay with us for details more. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you for always being with us on the newscast at 6 p.m. on Equinoxe Television in the English language. My name is Anna Bilaleke, and now we told you a while ago in the headlines that some family of the deceased persons who died in the mudslides which happened at Mobile Guinness some weeks back gathered today at the Laken's Hospital mortuary for the corpse removal of their relations. Some of them say they were assisted by the government who paid for the mortuary bills, but the rest was done by them. Our reporter Lucille Yengu was at the Laken's Hospital. She now compiled this report for the news.
It is difficult to understand what is happening here at the Laken's Hospital, while the population expected to have an official ceremony organized by the state for the corpse removal of those who perished in the building which collapsed at the Mobile Guinness neighborhood Douala 5 subdivision few weeks back. From inquiries, each family organized a funeral for their loved ones.
The mortuary fees was free of charge, yes. The governor took it on itself. Then the rest one now, the coffin, the organization, all is a family. The family is
like the family of Delphine Yonta, whom we met here, they say they are still in shock.
It was not very good to hear. It was very difficult, and it's a sad case, very sad case. You cannot say that you can manage it easily. Today, after many operations to recover the corpse from the delegation from the governor office, they send off to delegation of health. Yes, after now they send me back here to recover the corpse.
Some corpses were removed yesterday, while others fixed a date for today. Delphine Yonta and others who were removed from the mortuary today will be buried in their native lands tomorrow, Saturday.
We are taking the corpse to Bafam, where we lay her to rest.
Talking to some people here, they say an official ceremony would have been organized by the state to pay homage to the 42 people who died in the collapsed building. For Equinoxe TV, Esia Lucille Yengu and the Last Channel.
Courage to the bereaved families, and may the souls of those who died rest in peace. We now talk something else. Occupants of a building belonging to the state took to the streets holding placards to denounce ongoing plans to construct other buildings on their green space. According to them, the move goes against the decision of the senior divisional officer for the Vuri, Benjamin Butu, who had ordered an end of the construction works. Immaculate Fogwe has the details.
At the top of their voices, these occupants of low-cost government houses located in Bonamusari, Douala 5 subdivision are denouncing ongoing construction works on their green space. The construction works that began 4 days ago goes against the decision of the senior divisional officer Benjamin Butu, who had ordered that works on the site should stop. They are not supposed to construct houses on our green space. If this project continues, our gutters will get blocked and water won't be able to flow as it ought to. Where are they expecting us to park our vehicles? We need this green space. According to the occupants of low-cost houses, One of the clauses on their contract stipulates that no one has the right to build on the green space, reason why they often pay maintenance fee. They are pointing accusing fingers on the Cameroon Real Estate Company, which they believe is the brain behind the ongoing project on the request of a business operator. The regional director told us that our contract was to be valid for 5 years and the 5 years is over. He has asked those who are not happy with the decision for houses to be constructed on the green space to leave the house. Locals are calling on competent authorities to intervene by putting a stop to what they consider as urban disorder.
And now we talk about measures being put in place to curb road accidents, especially as back to school approaches. Gendarme elements are waging a war against accidents. The men in uniform were on the national road number 1 to ensure that drivers respect the highway codes despite the efforts made by the security elements. Residents of Nkong-Samba say if their roads are not rehabilitated, then accidents cannot be avoided. Immaculate Fogwe now takes us to the national road number 5.
For the past months, Cameroon has recorded an increase in road accidents on its major highways. Within a month, over 30 deaths have been recorded, with more than 70 others severely injured. According to road safety agents, civil factors such as overspeeding, bad roads and carelessness account for the rise in fatalities. In order to limit the number of accidents recorded on our highways, elements of the Littoral Gendarmerie Legion are on a security safety mission on the National Road number 5, precisely in Nkong-Samba, Mungo Division. Drivers who do not respect road safety measures and cannot provide valid car documents are forced to step down of their cars to justify their actions. Human life is sacred, so we need to limit the number of road accidents recorded. We have noticed that bus drivers are now taking advantage of back to school to overload their vehicles. Most of them now overspeed, putting the lives of many Cameroonians at risk. Residents of Nkong-Samba applaud the efforts made by elements of the gendarmerie in curbing the number of accidents recorded. However, they decry the numerous potholes found on major stretches. The state of the road is deplorable. Most accidents here are caused by these potholes. Some drivers who try avoiding these potholes tend to collide with other vehicles coming from the opposite direction. We have recorded several accidents on this stretch. As back to school draws near, road users are urged to be conscious so as to limit the number of casualties recorded daily.
And now, why do roads in Cameroon, especially those in Douala, degrade very fast after rehabilitation? A civil engineer says corruption, inadequate training in absence of control, and also geomorphological landscape of Douala are some of the major reasons why roads keep degrading very fast in the city days after maintenance works. Manshu Charles also blames the incivility of the local population. He was speaking to our reporter, Innocent Aze.
The common cause of traffic jam in the city of Douala today is the degraded road networks. Every municipality is caught in the web. Even when road maintenance works are carried out, they do not last long, plunging the population in a more precarious situation. Speaking to a civil engineer, Manshu Juku Fonshal, on possible causes of the road degradation, he begins by highlighting the clay and sandy geomorphological landscape of Douala and non-respect of the thickness of the tar.
You know that argile and sand are not strong to receive heavy load. And then the problem is to respect the dimension given by those who make the calculation before. I don't know if those who realize the route here in Douala respect those dimensions. I'm talking about the thickness of route, because after degradation, when we went to the area that the degradation is, we discovered that the thickness is not respected by those who realize the route.
Bad faith and corruption have also been advanced by Manshu Juku Fonshal.
Those who control works are there doing their job well, I can talk about the materials used for control of those rules. Is not a good material. If we have to talk about amount, I'm talking to corruption. If you sign for, it's an example, you have to build a route here in Bonaberi. You see the amount on paper, 10 million, 30 million, it's an example. And you sign for 10 million, and after they give you 5 million for the same work. How can we do? You have to work for the amount that they give you. You cannot go over or cannot take the money from your pocket to. That is a problem here in Cameroon. They give me 5 francs. I have to work for 5 francs.
Even as exercise human factors like burning of waste on the tar, blockage of drainage channels causing inundation on the tar, and pouring of coarse substances on the tar, accelerating degradation. Manshu Juku Fonshal provides some solutions to have lasting roads in Douala.
For solution, we have many solutions. I have only to give you the essential solution, which is good treatment of soil, using a good material to treat a soil before tarring, pavement, using of good material, following the work with a good controllers, and professionalization of workers, because there is some workers who are not trained for the job. That is the situation that we have to meet in the field every time.
Civility of the population has also been emphasized by the civil engineer, who stressed if all these are respected, circulation in the city of Douala will be smooth and flexible as air transport.
And now we talk health viewers. Public Health Minister Dr. Manauda Malachi on his social media handle urges Cameroonians to be vigilant as a new variant of the COVID-19 virus has been announced in some European countries with which Cameroon shares a common relation. He calls on the local population to go back to their good old habit of respecting barrier measures. Mala Glory is our lady on that beat.
In his recent outing on his Twitter page, the Minister of Public Health, Manauda Malachi, called on Cameroonians to be vigilant following the light outbreak of a new variant of COVID-19 in some European countries. China, United States of America, United Kingdom, and France are countries experiencing the variant, known as EG.5 or Eris, related to an Omicron subvariant called XBB.192.
Omicron variant loves to mutate and change. It creates new distant cousins, and Eris is one of those new distant cousins. It's highly contagious. It's now starting to spread across our country and in other parts of the world.
These countries, according to the Minister of Public Health, have close relations with Cameroon. For this reason, he advised Cameroonians to observe public health measures and to get vaccinated in order to be protected. However,
so for now, it seems that it may have increased transmissibility, but it does not seem to be posing more of a threat to public health than other variants.
The World Health Organization suggested the variant does not pose a particular threat to the public.
And now we talk education viewers. Researchers from all the state universities in Cameroon are meeting in Douala, precisely at the Douala University, to brainstorm on some of the obstacles or difficulties related to carrying out research in the country. Among those problems is that of funding and also the lack of equipment. The researchers from state universities and also from confessional universities call on the government and the civil society to assist especially PhD students in the domain of agriculture and other fields to go through their studies with little or no difficulties. Let's now listen to one of the researchers who is attending the symposium taking place at the University of Douala. It began today.
I am Prof. Kusoto, here for the summer school, which started, actually starting today, and it is purposely for research, and we are currently working on how students, scholars can engage in practical research through abstract writing. And to add to this, we have elements of how research can be carried out using some specific tools. Besides this, there is also an aspect of digital humanities, which has to do with how language and literature can have another dimension of data analysis by integrating technology. So that is precisely why we are here. It is an assembly, a school that is purposely concerned with empowering scholars, postgraduate students and lecturers in general on how to engage or also train their students to handle some aspects of research.
And now let's listen to 2-year Suzanne. She is a master's student from the University of Buria. She tells us more about the difficulties they face in their research methodology.
All right, so one of the difficulties I've had as a young researcher is how to get an extensive literature review from the internet. I mean, getting the most relevant, not just what we see, but what is not seen and is also relevant. And using technology, they're going to be teaching us that today.
Away from education, we take you out of our national frontiers. At least 60 people have died and 38 others have been rescued after a boat was found off the coast of Cape Verde in West Africa. And in Senegal, we told you opposition leader Ousmane Sonko has been taken off the electoral list. And in Sudan, more than 1 million people are said to have been or have fled from the country because of the ongoing crisis in southern Sudan. Let's now have more with Mala Glory.
More than 60 people are found dead after a boat carrying migrants was found off Cape Verde in West Africa. 38 people, including children, were rescued, with food shortage showing them being helped on land, some on stretches on the island of Sal. Almost all those on board the boat, which was at sea for over a month, are thought to have been from Senegal. Cape Verde officials have called for global action on migration to help prevent further loss of life. The Senegalese foreign minister said the boat left the Senegalese fishing village of Fos Boye on 10 July with 101 people on board. And in Senegal, the Senegalese political opponent Ousmane Sonko has been removed from the list of the electoral register. The delisting, which was contested by his political party, could prevent Mr. Sonko from being eligible and therefore from being a candidate in the presidential election of February 2024. The political leader, currently on hunger strike, has been in prison since 31st July, charged with calling for insurrection in another court case. And over to Sudan, the United Nations agencies are warning that the number of Sudanese refugees in neighboring countries has surpassed 1 million, and the lack of food and vital services within the country is killing people. The agencies on Tuesday highlighted the lack of medical supplies and the future repercussions of farmers being unable to plant their fields. The Sudanese army and the paramilitary rapid support forces have fought bitterly, devastating the capital, Khartoum, and setting off ethnically driven attacks in Darfur, threatening a protracted civil war and instability in the region. The agencies have pointed out that more than 14 million children need humanitarian aid and over 4 million people have fled from fighting, either within the war-ravaged country or as refugees to neighboring states. The war has caused over 1 million Sudanese to cross into neighboring countries, and many of which were already struggling with conflict and economic crisis. The UN and human rights groups have accused both the military and the rapid support forces of human rights violation.
And now in sports, we talk football. A storm seems to be currently shaking the foundations of Cameroonian football while the ship is taking on water everywhere. Nearly 25 Out of the 35 professional clubs are threatening to boycott the next season if measure changes are not made within the Cameroonian Football Federation FECAFOOT. They are also calling on an extraordinary FECAFOOT annual General Assembly in order to officially note the vacancy in the presidency of the federation. For me, Armstrong Sander has the details.
The source of this controversy lies in the presidency of the Cameroon Football Federation, FECAFOOT, a function that is questioned on daily basis and which tends out to be the major point of contention. For these clubs, Samuel Eto'o is definitely no longer the right person for this position. Concerns raised by adversaries of the former Indomitable Lions striker are amplified by tumultuous events, in particular match fixing, the suspension of around 20 referees for manipulation of match results, opacity in the exact envelope of sponsors as listed by these clubs' president who met in Douala. In addition, the situation has become more complex with the recent decision of the Court of Arbitration for Sport, which cancelled all resolutions of the General Assembly of FECAFOOT dated August 27, 2022. This reinstates Gibai Gaitama in the committee executive of the body, as well as Francois Kodem as the head of the Western Regional League. It also enshrines the cancellation of the dissolution of the Professional Football League of Cameroon (LFPC), among others. Faced with this situation, the 25 clubs represented in Douala raised, gathered and formulated a series of conditions, the most important of which are three in number. First, they called for the holding of an extraordinary session of the General Assembly of FECAFOOT in order to officially note the vacancy in the presidency of the Federation. For them, this is a crucial step in initiating meaningful change. Secondly, they have taken the firm resolution to participate in the professional championships of the 2023-2024 season only if the conduct and administrations are entrusted into the hands of the LFPC, considered as a guarantor of fairness and sporting integrity of Cameroon. Fourth and thirdly, they also requested the urgent convening of a General Assembly of the LFPC to prepare the launch of the professional championship for the coming season in Cameroon. In the entourage of Samuel Eto'o, the position of these clubs' president do not move any person. His calm defense that it is a wash in the water, yet another blackmail from the club president. According to this argument, their only problem is that they can no longer fill their pockets with the subsidies from the federation because Samuel Eto'o ensures that they are used for the benefit of their players. However, it is important to note that before the 25 professional football clubs meeting in Douala, the Association of Amateur Football Clubs in Cameroon, ACFACT, met on July 21st, 2023 to demand the resignation of Samuel Eto'o and his entire FECAFOOT Executive Committee. Meanwhile, the African Football Confederation (CAF) has opened an investigation against the Cameroonian football boss, Samuel Eto'o.
Still in sports, let's now have the results of the volleyball championship taking place in Yaoundé and other sports updates with our sportsman Magic and Gabriel.
After a planned press conference by some club presidents was disrupted on Thursday by security officials in Douala on grounds that they had no authorization for their gathering, the club presidents still went ahead to have a meeting in an undisclosed venue. At the end of their gathering, these club presidents took three major resolutions. First, that an extraordinary General Assembly meeting of the Cameroon Football Federation FECAFOOT should be organized to declare the vacancy of the position of the president of FECAFOOT. Secondly, these club presidents say for the next football season 2023-2024 they won't participate in the league if the Professional Football League of Cameroon (LFPC) is not the organizer. And finally, they are calling on the holding of the LFPC General Assembly meeting to prepare for the next football season. Over 15 club presidents participated in the meeting, which came on the heels of the decisions taken by the Court of Arbitration for Sports. 104-74. The FIBA Olympic pre-qualifying tournament, which is taking place in Nigeria, will end on August 20, 2023, and the winning team will qualify for the 2024 FIBA Men's Olympic qualifying tournament.
That sport report by Samantha Gabriel. Viewers, brings us to the end of this edition of the news. Thank you always for being said. Don't go away. Our programs continue. The news in the French language comes up at 8 p.m. with Julien Beth Bisai and Equinoxe in about 30 minutes with Serge Alango too. Enjoy your weekend in the company of programs on Equinoxe Television. Bye-bye for now.